Hello friends, this is Worm and I'm back after a long holiday weekend. I just enjoyed taking 4 days off to hang out with the family and do stuff like that. But that being said, we're back, and today I want to do an episode of Exotic Recrafting. And I know it's not Monday, we normally do these on Mondays, but I still wanted to do one, and I wanted to talk about a weapon that is kind of in honor of the upcoming sword event we're getting. That's Black Talon. Now, with that being said, before we talk about that, I want to talk about kind of some stuff that's been going on over the weekend and stuff. There's a lot of negative sentiment around Destiny 2. Dado dropped a video yesterday. A couple other YouTubers dropped videos yesterday, stuff like that. In terms of Destiny 2, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I'm still just going to make Destiny 2 content. If I want to do other content, I'm going to make a separate channel for it, and I'm probably not going to advertise that channel here, because if you're playing Destiny, you're probably not caring about other games that I might be playing. But with that being said, we're going to continue to make Destiny content. We're going to continue to do our, our series and stuff like that, because I have fun doing it. But with that out of the way, let's talk about Black Talon inside PvE, because Black Talon, I don't see it used very much inside PvE. And unfortunately, at the time of recording this, Destiny is offline, so I cannot record gameplay of Black Talon being used. So that's why the gameplay in the background's just some kind of random whatever business is going on back there. I don't know what I'm going to put on it yet, but the background gameplay is not of Black Talon. But Black Talon, I don't know the last time I saw somebody using it inside PvE, because it's not really anything special inside PvE. Its perks, the first one is Crow's Wings. This perk basically just makes your heavy attack throw a projectile, okay? Not like a caster frame though, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But it does throw a projectile. And then its other perk, I can't say a unique perk because it's not a unique perk, is Tireless Blade, which Tireless Blade is a good, I guess, a good perk on this weapon. But with that being said, the thing that causes this exotic to struggle, in my opinion, is that it's just out of date and it's boring and it's bland. Okay, we've got, Lament, which does a tremendous amount of damage and it heals you. We have World Line 0, which sprinting gives you a super long range attack. You get 2 of them, actually, a teleport attack. But like Black Talon, it's just like, yeah, let's throw a projectile. And it's just not nearly as unique from a PvE standpoint. Now again, Black Talon has viability inside PvP, and I've seen people use it more in PvP, but at the same time, I think that also, like, why are you using Black Talon as your exotic slots? Like, unless you're legendary, kinetic and energy weapons are just goated. I think most people are probably using exotics in one of those 2 slots. Duality is especially popping off right now as an exotic, but of course, I want to talk about it in PvE. It struggles because it's out of date. When Black Talon came to us all those years ago, I believe it came with Forsaken. I don't think it was a D2 original, like a vanilla weapon. I think it came with Forsaken, but regardless of that, whenever it came, it was the only sword that could actually have a projectile, similar to, I don't remember the Bolt Caster from Destiny 1. Bolt Caster was the only sword that had a projectile-based attack. When Destiny 2 dropped, Black Talon was the only sword that had a projectile-based attack, so it definitely had a more unique feel. It definitely had a different, different place in the meta, and you could potentially, have infinite ammo with it because of Tireless Blade. Again, we'll talk about that in just a second. But since those days, whenever Black Talon was added to where we are now, we've had the addition of a lot more swords. We've had the addition of more sword frames, and of course we've got more caster frames, so we have more swords that can do those ranged attacks. We have things like Heart Shadow as well, which Heart Shadow doesn't have a super long range attack, but it does have a ranged attack. And so Black Talon is just kind of there, I guess. Like, it's just kind of, yeah, it's not the worst thing you could use, but there are a lot better options. So I figured we'd talk about how we can potentially make it better. And I think starting off, I do want to bring up that Black Talon, if I'm not mistaken, it does have something going for it, and that is that the projectile-based attack only costs 2 ammo, as opposed to like 4 or 5 ammo that normal caster frames have. So that is something that it does have going for it. But I think that where Black Talon is lacking is in the actual utility of that ranged attack. Like, all it does is it throws a ranged attack that damages targets. I think that something we could potentially add to make Black Talon like just feel better and perform better is add something along the lines of, you know, maybe just chain reaction. Okay, when you get a kill with it, enemies explode. Like, I mean, that would be a very simple fix that would also potentially build well into Tireless Blade, because, you know, you can get 3 or 4 kills with, you know, 1 heavy attack, and that's going to refund your ammo for you, like, just instantly for free, which I think is pretty good. I think that'd be a pretty good thing to have. Now I also think that instead of just adding like a perk that already exists, like, what if we had some sort of void synergy, you know? And I know we talk a lot about subclass synergies and stuff like that, but, you know, Black Talon's one of those ones. Maybe it releases a suppressing blast whenever it hits. You know, this could stun overload champions, which would be really cool. It could, of course, you know, disable, you know, enemies' abilities, you know, Captain's ability to teleport and stuff like that, which I think also could be really nice. And again, it would give it that utility. Plus, of course, you could build into Void subclasses. Echo of Domineering, I think is what it is, where if you defeat a suppressed target, it makes a Void Breach, blah, blah, you know, does stuff for you like that. Which, you know, I think that would be really nice. Like, building into the Void Kit would be really nice. Now, I also think that maybe maybe something with the ranged attack is like a much like higher degree of tracking. Now, granted, the attack from Black Talon already has pretty good tracking. Like, it's not used in the Crucible frequently because it has weak tracking. Like, it has strong tracking, but I'm thinking like a really aggressive tracking, you know, like, you know, if there's a flying unit or something like that, if you get a boss moving around, like those projectiles, not only do they seek really strong, they have really strong tracking, but also maybe they travel faster, you know. The projectiles, they're not slow by any means, but I think that they could be a little bit faster. That way, you know, it hits the target sooner, and maybe speed up the animation for how fast you can actually throw those attacks out. I also think that's, you know, in terms of the ammo economy, like, Black Talon is a sword that you really want to be using its heavy attack a lot for, right? You know, spamming that attack, throwing out 4 light attacks at a time, just 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, spamming it really fast is a pretty, like, that's a fun aspect. So I think just increasing the actual, like, the fire rate, I guess is what you would call it, but increasing how fast you can make those attacks. Now, in terms of a you know, a more, I guess, more detailed rework of the weapon, I would love to see some sort of buff to the weapon, so that, like, let's say if you get a kill with a projectile, you know, or if you get a multi-kill with the projectile, so you throw the projectile and it kills 2 or more enemies, then you get like a 3-second buff that allows you to throw as many heavy attacks as you want. Oh, I apologize. Throw as many heavy attacks as you want without actually consuming any ammo. You know, it has Tireless Blade on it, so it can refund ammo, which is really awesome. And one of the things that I like about a lot of the heavy swords is that they have kind of, you know, these ammo regenerating perks built back into them. But I think with Black Talon, you could potentially take it a step further and give it like not infinite ammo, but give it a way of having you know, much deeper ammo reserves. And I think that would be a pretty decent change to Black Talon. But other than that, I mean, it's so difficult because this sword is like, I don't want to overdo it. You know, the fact that it only takes 2 ammo, again, if I'm not mistaken, it only takes 2 ammo to throw that heavy attack. Like, that's a really big deal because you can spam that a lot. You can spam it fast. I would also say maybe just increase its overall sword reserves would be nice, but I don't know. Black Talon, it's an exotic sword. I don't know what else to really say about it, but yeah, with that being said, I want to hear your thoughts on Black Talon. Like, what do you think Bungie could do to it? What do you think they could do to make it better? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's it for this video. Like it, helps channel a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content, conversation, debates, discussions, all that stuff. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I will, of course, be posting regularly again now that my long weekend's over. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.